Hello, my name is Haley. I will be doing a book review over God Can't by Thomas J. Ord for my religion class under Dr. Rob Music. I actually downloaded the book on my Kindle app with the Audible version too, and I would listen to it in the car. And overall, I definitely like this book more than I did the Jesus and His Enemies book, because in Jesus and His Enemies, he he really just sounded smart, and it just was a real struggle for me to read that book. Like, I could only read a page or two at a time. This one I could actually read quite a bit at a time. And I liked how in this book that he gave more examples from like today's world, like things going on today, like the shootings and all that, which is something we can all relate to. Um, for me, I can understand how he discussed how some people, it was just easier for them to believe that God couldn't stop something before they could believe that he allowed something to happen. And I mean, I can understand that. I've been in that kind of situation where I'm like, why is this happening? Why didn't you stop this? But I don't think that that's completely right. Um, in this book, he presents the idea that God cannot do something. And for me, that was a struggle because I grew up in the church. I now have always been taught he could do everything. He could heal the sick, heal the blind, on all of that, raise people from the dead. So, and like he created the whole universe. So I really struggled with the fact that trying to read this book and being like, okay, he can't do something. That was a big challenge for me. And I personally still do not believe that. I believe he can still do everything. But in this book, I mean, I can kind of understand why they're saying he can't do something. And it's more of all of the things going on and like his free will and all that plays a part in it. I think that he doesn't make us decide, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I think he's like, it's your decision, because like we get to choose if we believe in him or not. So I don't think he's gonna be like, okay, well you have to do this, this, and this. I think he's like, this is your free will. I'm not going to take your choices away, but I'm not going to like. I think that he still put a stop to things, like with school shootings and stuff. I think he stopped them, but it took a little bit, and that's God's doing a lot at one time, so that's understandable. So I still think he can stop things, and I believe in that full heartedly. And while reading this, that was the biggest challenge for me, was trying to think of that and how they was seeing things and how they was like they didn't stop this and they should have. Like, it's different. But something that really stood out to me in this book, hold on, let me pull it up here. Um, Throughout this book, a lot he talks about how God just couldn't do something. But later in the book, in the God needs our cooperation, it literally said, the author writes, the God with controlling power can do whatever he wants. Well, in this whole book, he's saying, well, technically he can't control it. And that was something I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. You're saying he can't control all this, but here near the end, you're like, he controls whatever he wants. And I don't think he's going to just stop and not take care of people. I'm not like that. Um, but I can see it. Um, and like with all the examples and stuff he gives, for me, I'm like, yes, you've given me plenty of examples of why he can't, but you didn't explain it enough, and then you come and say, hey, he can control everything. That just really stopped me. I had to literally stop reading and everything and take a minute and really like read that again. But that's besides the point. Um, but overall, this book was challenging for people who, like me, who grew up in a church, who was taught that God can do everything. This was a big struggle. Like got mad at reading this a couple of times. I was like, how is that? How is that even possible? Like he's always controlled everything. He can do everything, and you're saying he can't. And I'm like, who are you to say God can't do something? And I know that other people probably believe that too. But I still think that I can believe their point. I can see why they're like, it's easier just to say he can't. Because for our human brains, we can't see everything the way he does. We can't comprehend the things he does, why he does them. But literally, he can do everything, and he's everywhere all the time. So it is hard for him to always put a stop to everything that's going wrong. Because, I mean, he is just him. But anyway, I would just like to say thank you for your time. And I suggest you read this book because I think it will challenge you more than you think.